Forward, march, left, right.
I wanted to give everybody an update on what's going on with me recovering a lot of the certificates that I received when I retired. I made a phone call last week to one of my old commanding officers. He is the XO down there in Marine Barracks in Washington, D.C. So he's going to do me a favor and he's going to be able to go down into the awards department himself in person and ask and see what they can do to actually retype me some new certificates for when I retired. That includes the letter from the president, the commandant, the sergeant major of the Marine Corps, and see if he can possibly also get me my retirement certificate that they gave me when I was able to retire. So that's some positive news on what I can do. As far as my St. Barbara's medal and stuff, I want to make sure that I still try to contact Fort Sill, Oklahoma, where the Artillery Association is, and that's the process that I'm taking right now. I was sitting here today, I was going through a couple other boxes and everything, and I was like, oh gosh, I just thought about the guidons that I received when I retired. I received a guidon from one of my last batteries that I was in, from Bravo Battery 110 down there in North Carolina. That was the last battery that I did, and the battery that we did our last deployment to down there to Afghanistan, as well as the guidon that was given to me when I retired from the Marine Corps, from the Marine Corps detachment in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, from the Marine Battery. And I hope that maybe I just haven't opened up the box that they were in, because I can remember that they were in the hallway where I had all my certificates, my plaques, my awards. Some of them are the ones that are behind me that I was able to save, but I believe that they were there as well, and we took them down because they weren't damaged. And when the company that came to take all the clothes and to clean the stuff that they could from the fire, that they took those with them as well. So they should have put them in a box when they gave them back to us, when they brought back all of our other stuff. If not, then I'm going to be making a phone call down towards their company down here in Phoenix, Arizona, to ask them, like, hey, what's going on? I'm missing a couple of items that you guys took. And I just hope and I pray that they have them still there in their warehouse, if they are not in one of the other boxes that we have yet not opened, and hoping that they are there. But I had a lot of feedback on this video on my podcasting site here on TikTok, as well as on YouTube and on Facebook. A lot of people were asking me about if I had a CAT card and so forth and everything else. Now, a CAT card is a military ID card that has a little chip in it that we were able to have access to all the military records, archives, and Marine Online and all those things while I was still on active duty. Now, unfortunately, now that I'm retired, I don't have that. I just have a military retired ID, so I don't have access to all that. However, I do have contacts in admin for Marines that that I train that are still in active duty, or other units that I know of, other Marines that were with me, and they can be a point of contact and a guide for me to actually be there for that. So that's the process that I'm taking with all that stuff. So I appreciate all the comments, all the questions, and all the other answers that you guys try to get me to, in order for me to be able to get all these awards back. But it's a step process, and we are on our way, hopefully, for me to be able to recover all the certificates. Now, I know I had an individual that asked me, like, hey, maybe you can get all your medals and all that stuff back and everything else. Now, I did save my shadow box that I have behind me that was made for me by Bell's Old Glory Shop. They made that for me about a month or two before the actual house caught on fire, and luckily I was able to recover that. The only thing that I noticed that I had on there was a little bit of water spots and everything else that were on the glass. If it did get wet on the inside, it was mostly just humidity and all that stuff, so I was able to get all that stuff nice and dry. Once I got it back to the house, I did call them and ask them, hey, how could I take this apart in order for me to clean the glass, because there were spots in the inside of the glass itself. And hey, they were able to give me the actual process of how to do that stuff, and I was able to clean it and everything. So my shadow box is good to go, as well as a lot of other pictures that I had, especially from all the different classes that I had in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, that I was the chief instructor for. So for those, I'm grateful and I'm thankful. Next process is going to be for me to try to see if I can get a copy of my boot camp book from when I graduated from recruit training on Parris Island in November 22nd of 1995. So I'm going to try to get that. So hopefully I'm able to be able to get that and replace that thing that I lost. But what really breaks my heart is those two guidons. And, you guys keep your fingers crossed for me. And let's hope that they are in a box that I have outside in the garage and that I'm able to get them back so I can put them on my wall and they can be part of my I Love Me wall that I have here inside of my office.